You've been doing the work, you've been manifesting your personal any desire, and you were doing so well. And then all of a sudden it comes like this tidal waves of emotion, a negative message. You saw something, you got triggered. It doesn't even matter what. That's life, right? It happens. And now you think, oh my God, now I ruined my manifestation. I got too emotional and now everything is ruined. But you're not struggling manifesting your desire because you're emotional. You're struggling because you believe that your emotions have the power to cancel out what you're creating. And it's that belief that keeps you stuck. But let's talk about how this situation actually looks like. And if you see you in what I'm talking about, and then this video is for you. If you are still in this super negative state all the time where you are in pain, maybe because the breakup is pretty fresh, then this is not your video, but I've got you covered. I've got a video linked below right now, and it is actually like a 3-part series. Don't worry, I got you in there. But now let's talk about this video. So you feel good, and then all of a sudden you get triggered. Maybe you saw a message, maybe you saw something online, or it just came out of the blue, or something else reminded you. It doesn't even matter. It's just this emotional spiral started and you think, oh my God, I messed it up. I messed up my manifestation. Been there, done that. So you create this pressure to always stay positive and high vibe, like the law of attraction always tells you. You can only manifest when you're high vibe and always shooting rainbows out of your butt. And now you're trying to monitor every thought and you're building up this pressure. And you constantly try to control your states. And you feel like just this one wrong emotion is ruining everything. And honestly, I have been there too. I've been manifesting things that were important to me. And then you have a bad day or a bad week and you spiral. And then you worry like, oh my God, did I just, manifest everything in vain? Am I back to ground zero? No, you're not. The thing is, this actually is the loop that makes you feel like you're constantly failing. But what's important is you're not blocked because you feel too much. You're blocked because you give your emotions authority over your reality. It's okay to be emotional. I'm emotional. People who don't know me well may not think so because I'm often very stoic and composed on the outside. Hello, Moon and Aquarius. But I'm highly emotional on the inside. Hello, Moon, Pluto, Trine, and Mars and Scorpio. But it doesn't even matter if you show your emotions on the outside or if you're more composed on the outside, but you have this massive tidal wave tsunami building up on the inside and no one sees it. Either way, emotions are just temporary spikes. They're just waves. But your system holds deeper assumptions and beliefs. They're on the subconscious mind. You could say your emotions and your nervous system doesn't reset just because you cried or because you were upset. Your identity persists beyond emotional fluctuation, you could say. So you can cry because you're upset, but within yourself, you can still be the version who already has them. What manifests is not your emotions anyway. Yes, if you keep feeding the same emotion, then that does rewire your brain and it becomes part of your identity. So we need to train the other emotions that we would like to have more in our life so that those become our identity. But that does not mean perfection. And that is what's vital. It is a training. It is, like the old scales. You try to take off weight from one side, the negative side, and put it on the other side. So this is the dominant side. Doesn't matter if you put a little stone on here, if you have the bigger part here. Your emotions do not matter. What matters is the emotions you constantly feed and the thoughts you constantly feed, because those create your identity. But if you want help with that, not just like surface level advice, but actually rewiring your brain and your pattern, then you will find contact information in the description box below, also in the link tree, because this is exactly the kind of block I work through with my clients. But let's dive deeper into what actually manifests. Your dominant assumptions always carry more weight than a temporary emotion. It is repetition that creates familiarity with the emotion. And a state becomes natural over time. And on the way there, it is normal to have 3 good days followed by a bad one. 5 steps forwards, 2 steps back. It is okay. It is normal. Progress is never linear. It is with ups and downs. So if that is happening to you, you are normal. Nothing is wrong with you, okay? I feel like some of you need to hear that. Nothing is wrong with you. Because as I said, a state becomes natural over time, and the nervous system learns through exposure of the same state, through the training. So it's not what you feel once in a weak moment, it's what your system keeps returning to. That is what we need to practice, returning to the positive state. Not never stepping out. That's not doable, you could say. It's not required. So the real mistake is actually trying to control your emotions. And also, of course, the constant self-monitoring and reacting to every internal shift and assuming that just because you get emotional, it means it's now working. You're not reacting to your emotions. You're reacting to what you think they mean. If you often feel like you are blocked when it comes to manifesting, then you can download my free ebook with the 3 most common blocks, or get the entire guide, Manifesting 101, with all of the 18 blocks that I have found when it comes to manifesting, and of course, how to resolve them. You also get that in the free ebook, of course, how to resolve the 3 most common blocks, but also which technique works best for which personality, like for which person and for what situation. But now let's talk about what to do instead when this tidal waves of emotion comes. First of all, stop assigning the meaning to the emotion that it means you're not making progress or you're back at 0 and nothing is working. What I always do. And yes, I told you I get very emotional, even though I don't tend to show it much when I'm around people. But when I'm with myself, I am very emotional. Best thing you do, and what I have learned to do, is let it be, let it out. Sit there and cry if you have to, vomit if you have to. Maybe that's a Virgo thing, I don't know. But just let it be. Don't take it out on other people, that's not what I'm saying. But process your emotions, don't oppress them. What you're trying to oppress, it's like a wound in your body that is just working against you. It needs to get out. I always sit down and I cry and I let it out and I let myself feel absolutely sorry for myself. Because you know what happens? It passes. And if you actually let it pass, there is something that it will get easier. And actually, I have learned that your brain can completely deal with one emotion within seconds. Often, I take a couple of cycles of these 19 seconds because as soon as you think about the thing again, then you start a new cycle of 90 seconds. But eventually you just let it out and then you learn to shift your thoughts away from it. What I do is I soothe myself. I like to soothe myself with some kind of meditation. I like doing the Ho'oponopono. There's incredible songs on here on YouTube, or I like to listen to my manifesting songs that soothe myself. Maybe you will find some in my channel, Janine, Nicole, Manifest with Music. Maybe you have other songs that soothe you. Let it out, soothe you, and be done with it. Just allow it to be there. No interpretation. And eventually you will automatically return to the state because you have not oppressed, because it was allowed to be there. And this requires training. And again, repetition is better than perfection. So the returning, it matters way more than doing it perfect from the beginning. But now this is the part that changes everything. Emotions don't cancel out assumptions you have. It is your identity that manifests, and your state, your identity, it stabilizes over time with practice and training and persistence. Persistence is the magic word here. And so your certainty will grow naturally if you just give it the room to breathe. So being emotional and crying sometimes, that is never what blocked your manifestation. You were just interpreting it wrong and maybe also giving up. Some people think like, oh my God, now I got emotional. Now I can just stop doing the work. No, you get back on your horse, you do the work. Because the moment you stop trying to control how you feel and you start to decide who you are underneath it, that is when your manifestation actually starts working.